What's going on, Star Wars fam? It's your bro host, Daniel Miller here. And as always, I am joined by my two other bro hosts, Christopher Ryans and Tommy Puig. We have a special show for you today. We have Dano from the Dano channel. What's going on, bro?
Hey, glad to be here, guys. Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Yeah, man. This has been it's been crazy with all this COVID stuff, but
Yeah.
with Zoom has been blowing up. Everyone's using it now to virtually connect with each other, and I think this is great.
I wish I would have bought stock sooner.
Right. So, Dano, what we do here on Shootin The Poo-Doo is basically what the show title is, and we're bringing you on here. So, where did your Star Wars journey begin? Like age, when you first saw it? Like, lay it on us. The usual way back. Trash.
You know, my story's kind of funny because I was kind of a snotty kid. And when I was, I think in like 5th grade or something, I was gifted. I had no idea. I'd never seen Star Wars at this point. So I was probably like 11 or so. I was gifted the THX version of the Star Wars trilogy for Christmas. My mom got it for me. She figured I'd like it. I was like, I don't want to watch that. It's like, I was just a snotty kid. I was like, yeah, whatever. It sat in the closet for like a year and a half.
Wow.
And one day I was at home. I didn't want to go to church with my mom, so I stayed home. And USA Network used to play Star Wars on the weekends sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I'm flipping channels, and I happen to see like this weird lizard fuzzy creature walking across the snow. I'm like, what is this? And I just leave. So it was the very beginning of Empire Strikes Back. And I just kind of left it on and kept watching it and like found myself, I see Yoda and I'm like, oh, okay. This is I know the references. I've seen this. You get to the big no, I am your father moment, and I'm like, oh, so this is Star Wars. That's what it is. And at the time, my parents were split up, and the trilogy was in a closet 3 hours away in another state. So I called my dad and said, hey, next time you come up here, can you bring me those movies? And from then on, as soon as he brought them up, they were in my VCR daily.
Nice.
That was I'd come home and I'd do homework if it wasn't an Adam Sandler movie, it was Star Wars. It was like the cycle of A New Hope, like Empire,
Billy Madison,
Jedi, Billy Madison. Yeah, exactly. So every day that was like my routine and ritual for years. And even actually to this day, I still do that. I still throw on Star Wars in the background while I'm doing work.
Yeah.
It's just like awesome. Habit I can't grow out of. But now there's way more movies to pick from.
Yeah.
So from there, I got into like the Star Wars CCG, like the Magic the Gathering style card game.
Oh, cool!
I got into that because I used to go to those like the hobby shops and everything. They sell cards and all that. Yeah. So I didn't get into Magic so much as I did Star Wars. And
nice.
From there, got into Micro Machine collecting and then action figures, and it's all downhill from there. Really. Yeah.
Oh my God,
yeah.
The wallet starts to get emptied, and it's your parents are wanting to kill you because you're begging them for money all the time to buy more Star Wars stuff. Yeah.
Yep. And now look at my room. Like I live in it.
It's an impressive setup you got going on there.
You just wait till you see. I'm moving actually in a couple of weeks. We just bought a house. We're closing on it this Friday, and I'm Thank you. I'm gonna build out a set to look like the inside of a Star Speeder from Star Tours.
Oh,
that's going to be my new background.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is.
I am like so stoked
about.
To have a bigger office and be able to do that. So it's
going
to take a month or
dope.
so. But yeah, it's going to be. I'm pretty excited for it. It's going to be a new, different style of videos that I'm going to be doing.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got into Star Wars like we're talking like the 90s.
96, right? I think, is when that happened. Like 95 or 96.
Kind of like you, Dan, right? Oh,
yeah.
The other Dan, yeah.
Well, yeah, I would say probably right around the prequels is really when my fandom jumped up to like hyperspeed. It was my uncle was super into it when I was a kid. I used to sneak into his room all the time when I go over to my grandparents, and I'd sneak into my uncle's room and play with all of his like Star Wars stuff. But I never really saw the movies. And then the prequels came out. I had a friend next to me drawing Darth Maul, and I was like, who is that guy?
What is that guy?
Yeah. I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, so, prequels. So George Lucas is coming out the first 3 movies. I'm like, oh, say what? And that's when I really started getting into it. And actually, the first movie I saw in theaters was Revenge of the Sith. I missed Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. I got to see them, go into Blockbuster and stuff. Man, what a old-fashioned sentence. But it was that's the prequels is really what sparked my fandom, and Oh God, I love them so much. Like when you were saying you have them on the background all the time.
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones is usually my background noise movie when I'm doing work around the house and all that stuff. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been into Star Wars. Like the way I got into Star Wars was I was born 2 years before it came out.
Okay.
And I was.
That's it.
That's just yeah.
There was no avoiding it.
Yeah, it was just that was just it. Don't remember the first 2 years of my life. Who cares? But everything from '77 on.
Star Wars.
For me, it was.
You know what's wild? I was looking through an old picture I had of when I was a kid, like 3 years old. In the background was a Rancor. From this picture must have been like 1986 because I was born in '83. So, but I have no idea where it went. I have no idea what happened to it. But apparently, I had an original Rancor growing up as a child and had no idea what Star Wars was. But I did love the Ewoks movies back then. That was like my go-to rental choice as like a 4-year-old when we'd rent movies. I had no idea it was Star Wars. I just loved the Ewoks.
Yeah, I love those movies. The cartoon.
Yeah, oh yeah, the cartoons too. Yeah.
Like I love droids, but Ewoks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried. I tried my hardest.
Are you a fan of the holiday special though?
Well, I mean,
fan is a loose word. I love it because of how bad it is.
yeah, I enjoy it for the train wreck that it is, but I've tried to watch it 2 times, and I got to like the Wookiee cybers stuff, and I was like,
I love that. That's like my favorite piece of Star Wars media now. I watch it every year. Every November 17th, I try to throw it on. I love it. It's so weird and just out there.
Oh yeah.
Tommy, you were about to say something about your Star Wars experience?
Oh yeah. It was. I actually began with my older brother. He was. I came home from school, and he was watching Return of the Jedi, like at the very end, the final battle, and it was like the space battle. I'm like, and I'm a little kid. I'm like 6, 7 years old. I'm staring at the screen, like, what are you watching? I'm like enthralled by it, and he's like, Dad never showed you Star Wars? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, let me finish this. We're gonna start over with A New Hope. But I was like, okay. But I sat down with them. I'm still gonna watch this.
Yeah.
And that's how my Star Wars adventure began. And that's how it began as far as like the movies. But my Legends adventure began with my brother as well. He handed me my first Legends book, which is a Thrawn trilogy.
Nice.
That was like what really I think stepped me up to this whole other level of like loving Star Wars was when I discovered that there were novels, and I'm like, wait a minute, the story continues? I'm like, excuse me? And I just
that's
started
kind of what the card game did for me, because there's all these little like paragraphs on the top with descriptions about side characters. So it's like 1997, I'm learning about Boshek and like, you know, all these random Cantina aliens and little tidbits of their lore. Yeah. And to me, that was just like, wow, there's so much more than just these movies. I didn't actually get into the books until like the newer stuff once Disney bought it.
Right.
But just knowing that all that was out there and just seeing all the different aliens and everything really is what kind of got me. For me, Star Wars has always actually just been a bigger thing than the movies, just because of that card game.
Yeah, I when the movies ended, I was 8 years old in '83. I'm old. So that 16 years between Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace, there was not a lot.
The dark times.
Yeah, the dark times.
Everybody talks about that.
I would reach for anything Star Wars related. So like those.
Well, we had Power of the Force muscly action figures, right? Everyone was buff.
They were so huge. Like, why? Dan and I were just Dan and I were just
even
talking
Leia
about
was buff.
Like, in the Leia, I was telling Dan the Leia earlier. I was telling the Leia looked like they took like a Planet of the Apes figure and like put it like as her face and just put the buns on.
Yeah,
she's
pretty
Leia,
mean looking.
If you say so.
Oh man, we were talking about how like Black Series figures have come so far too. Like I recently got the Slave Leia Black Series. It's rare, and. I'm just like, that doesn't look like Leia. What is this? But I mean, nowadays, I mean, Chris, you know, me and Chris just met up today, gave me this Anakin, and I mean, it looks so good. Like oh man, I love these things now. Yeah. But so Dano, how did the channel start? Like, what got you into, I mean, like, wanting to talk about this stuff, wanting to broadcast? Did it start with a podcast, a blog?
No, it started
Where
off
did it
with
all
you doing
happen?
artwork, right?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it started with a need for attention. Is where it started.
Isn't that where it always happens? We all
yeah, right?
are
We're all
desperately
little
needing attention.
starved,
Yeah.
right? So it started there. But I think it was around 2013, sometime around then. I was doing a lot of artwork, painting Disney artwork on Tom's shoes and Van's shoes. And I
Cool.
was getting a little bit of traction doing that on Instagram.
That's okay.
And I did a pair for my girlfriend at the time and just posted them up for sale to see if anybody would be into it. And it sold like instantly within a minute. And I was like, oh, wow, there's like people want this. So I started doing it so much that it got to the point where I couldn't do that and my regular daytime job. So I quit my job to do that full time. And my youngest son at the time was about 4 years old. So I pulled him out of daycare to save money. So I was like, you can stay here with me while I paint. You hang out. And he ended up watching a ton of YouTube. And I was like, okay, that's what got me into YouTube, was watching stuff along with him and being like, oh, okay, so this is like, there's channels. There's like people curating their own program, making their own shows here.
Yeah.
And I thought, why don't I just turn on a camera while I paint and double dip? That way I get paid for the artwork, but I can also make a little bit of side change making videos about me painting, you know?
People love it.
Yeah, so that's kind of
Yeah.
how I started, was doing that and doing like little tutorials, this is a technique I used while painting this. And that kept going to a point, and it kind of evolved into Disney park stuff as well, because I'm a big Disneyland nerd anyways.
Mhm.
So we figured, you know what, let's take a pair of painted shoes to Disneyland, do a photo shoot there. We'll do maybe a video when we're on vacation at Disneyland. And through Star Wars Celebration 2015, a couple years later, we had recorded a bunch of videos around Disneyland. My youngest son building a lightsaber at that lightsaber station. They have, you put all the little plastic pieces together. Did one of those, just stuff around Celebration. About 6 months later, I'm looking back at my analytics on videos, and I noticed that lightsaber video of my son building, lightsaber, it was a janky little cheapo video. I was like, here, no, we're just going to do it. Pick your pieces. We're following you along. It ended up picking up like 70,000 views in like 3 months. So for me at that time, that was huge. I was like, wow. How did this video take off? And I never even noticed. So since I went to Disneyland at that time, like pretty often, I figured, let's try that again. Let's see if we can catch lightning in a bottle one more time here.
Yeah.
And I just had my girlfriend at the time film me just building different combos. Like, here, we're going to build Anakin's today. And it was just me at the station building, hey, we're going to build Darth Vader. Sure enough, those videos took off. And my channel like started to transition from Disney art into more Star Wars stuff. And the more Star Wars traction I got, I was like, well, hey, I have a huge collection of Star Wars micro machines.
Yeah.
Let's jump on that. Let's do that. Why not open up some of them, talk about the old play sets? And that seemed to take off too, because nobody in this time, or actually still to this day, not a whole lot of people cover Star Wars micro machines. But there's there's enough of a need for it that there's a decent sized audience. Not huge, because still no one's really searching for it.
Yeah.
But I was able to dominate that space. I was able to come in and just, when you search Star Wars micro machines, you're going to get a ton of my videos.
That's
There's a couple
awesome.
other people who do them, but I just started looking at YouTube in that way of like, what little spaces can I dominate? I know I can't like take out the big guys, because they're always going to have their, they own a big chunk of the space, but what little pieces can I take over? So Star Wars micro machines, the build your own lightsaber thing at Disneyland. And then when Galaxy's Edge opened, before it opened, I wanted to be the info guy. I was like, let me dig up as much info as I can leading up to the park's opening, and just put out as much useful info as I can find and dig up. And that really helped, like, just lead up to the channel really taking off a lot last year.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Galaxy's Edge opening.
Bro,
That's cool.
listen, I lived vicariously through your videos and through Tommy's videos from Galaxy's Edge. Like we did a skit for one of our quick shot videos where I'm just watching. I think I was watching one of your videos, and and then we turned, like, it was just, I was always watching, and then we turned it into a skit, because I was always just like, I can't go, so I'm gonna watch Dano videos and just get everything I need.
Trust me. It was real. Like, even the video was kind of a joke, but like when the camera wasn't rolling, I was like, Chris, stop, get off the iPad. We got stuff to do here. But yeah, I mean, it's funny how you were talking about finding that little niche, like, for your videos, like your little slice in the Star Wars like fandom. That's when me and Chris got together and started BROAXIUM with just the comic book videos, I mean, that's kind of like what we wanted to jump into. Like, we wanted to do something that not many people were covering, and comics was something that, you know, guys are out there covering the comics, but we solely wanted to focus on that, like, and get it out there. But man, we didn't get the traction we wanted at first. But it's slowly.
It's a
picking up now.
grind, though. YouTube's
it's
such a grind.
Yeah. And we're hanging in there. It's about 2 years now. We were talking earlier, and things are picking up, and it's been great. I mean, but you know, we just do it because we love doing it. It's so much fun just talking about this stuff. You know, bringing the comics to people's attention. You know, you bringing micro machines, painting, and all that stuff. People just. You know, it's all parts of the fandom that people don't know exist, and when they see that these things are happening, it sparks their, you know, them to do these kinds of things. So that's
really awesome. Kind of what I've done with the groups. Like, so Galaxy's Edge, once it landed and it's in both coasts now, you start seeing little communities pop up, little certain thing, and I jumped on that too with the Droid Builders group. We have those DBC, so I knew people were going to want to custom paint their droids. I've got some over here.
Those guys are awesome. I love the Droid Builders. I've met a couple of them when we went to Celebration, and I interviewed
we just like
Chopper.
Custom paint them and make them look all cool.
That is awesome looking.
Oh, you guys got to check.
Did you put some like wear and tear on that one? Like,
I weathered him.
Nice.
I weathered him.
That's pretty cool.
This is the one I just painted the other day.
Star Tours.
Oh,
Star Tours. Yeah.
Now, are these the droids you get at Galaxy's Edge?
These are the $99 Droid Depot droids, but this one's custom painted. I got the airbrush out, masking tape, but check this out. This has a custom chip.
Yeah.
Play Star Tours sounds.
Nice.
Oh my God, that is so
Yeah.
cool.
Man.
A friend of mine gave me this custom chip.
What?
That's awesome, dude.
This COVID stuff sucks. I want to go to Galaxy's Edge so bad. This is BS.
We were deprived of Galaxy's Edge before COVID started.
I know. No, but like, I didn't actually get to see any of the droid stuff yet, and that is fantastic. Wow.
So yeah, there's a whole group of us who we mostly gather through Facebook, but we share tips on customizing. There's people who figured out how to make custom 3D printed heads, custom chips, so you can put whatever sounds you want in them now.
Nice.
So we've taken that $100 plastic looking toy and just taken them up to new notches. Just
That's dope.
That's the coolest thing that they've been doing. So like the holocrons, you can stick the different crystals in them and they do different things. Like I'm so blown away. Like, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's just to make some money." I'm like, I don't care. Take it. Take all the
now
money.
There's another community of just people making custom crystals.
What?
Oh, wow.
So people will make a resin cast. I'm actually working on one, but I've got some right here. People will make a resin cast of crystals, and they'll just get a little RFID chip, put it in there with the correct program, because they figured out what the programs are for each voice. And so there's certain ones that have double-sided crystals. One side might have, Mace Windu. The other side has Anakin, or something. But they do different colors in the lightsabers as well. But I've got some galaxy crystals. This guy makes custom ones and then seals them in wax and gives you random. So I don't know. I haven't opened it yet.
Are all the voices, or they've taken not the static ones that are with that are on the crystals, but these are different ones
No. These are the same static ones that are on the crystals they sell in Galaxy's Edge. But they'll put 2 RFID chips in there, and if you flip it one way, it's one voice. It unlocks all of Obi-Wan's sounds, and you flip it the other way, and it might have Ahsoka's. And it'll be blue on one side of the crystal, white on the other side of the crystal. And they'll call it they're really getting creative with this stuff. And it's cool to see these communities do this. It's
I'm
wild.
sitting here thinking, just when I thought I was the ultimate Star Wars fan, I'm learning about people making this crap. And I'm like, this is blowing my mind.
The community, so the droids, you know how they all react in Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
Someone figured out how to make a little micro bit that is the droid beacon. So I can turn this thing on and pretend it's sending a signal like we're at Doc Ondar's. And if we have a smuggler chip in one of these droids, they'll react to it every 2 minutes or so.
Freaking
and
cool.
I can do it at home because these people have nerded out on it and figured all this stuff out. It's amazing.
We're missing out not living in Florida or
well, that's the thing. I don't live in California. I live in Nevada. So being able to have all this stuff here at home is awesome because it's my own little Galaxy's Edge stuff. I don't have to be there.
Oh,
now who's gone more? That's what I need to know
yeah,
right now.
Tommy.
Between Tommy and Dano, who's gone more?
It's not a
Let's
competition.
see. I think I've probably visited about 13 times since it
Whoa.
opened.
I'm at
Awesome.
23.
23. Wow.
Yeah.
But you live in California, right?
Yeah. I'm an annual pass holder. Well, me and my wife are. So, yeah.
God, yeah, I have an annual pass, but it's like one of those it's only worth me going out there like once a month.
Yeah, you gotta bide your time.
Because I gotta, I gotta get a hotel. I gotta pay $100 in gas.
Yeah.
It adds up because I have to
Yeah.
travel so much.
I mean,
Once a month or so, I try to go. Once every other month, maybe. But
Yeah, for me, it's just it's one drive. That's it.
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Just want to go once. Just get one out of the way.
yeah.
I
It's
can only
funny.
imagine. I can only
Like-
imagine what it's like walking in there for the first time. Like
Oh,
someone's
man.
going to have, someone strong is going to have to.
He's gonna be so
catch
weak in the
me.
knees.
Someone's going to have to catch me.
Not.
Because I think I'm.
When
I'm
you see the
going to-
Falcon,
Oh,
It's
that's
over?
when it happens.
I
That's when it
legit
gets-
choked up. Like I had
Yeah.
to turn the camera away from my face in the vlog and show and I got quiet for a second because I didn't want to like let it out on video, but I was like, yep,
Right.
there it is. There's the Falcon. And like come back to me just like, no, we're good.
I don't want to stand. I actually don't want to stand near Chris when he actually sees the Falcon because he's gonna break my arm. He's gonna squeeze my arm
Squeeze
so
so hard.
hard that it's just gonna crush my arm.
Yeah.
So I'm
The first
actually.
time you see that, it is amazing.
Oh,
It
Yeah,
is-
when I remember I went one time, and I was while I was working, I took a break, went over there, just to walk around for a bit, and this guy came, and you could tell it was his first time because he was just like staring at the Falcon. He was a big dude, teary eyed, and I guess one of his friends came and grabbed his arm. He's like, "Don't touch me! Don't touch me!"
you know, I'm having a moment here.
Like, leave that man alone. He's having a moment.
I mean, it's true though, because every picture I see of every person standing in front of that thing, it is it's absolute joy. Like you can't fake those smiles. Everyone is just like, look what's behind me. It's the
yeah,
Falcon.
it's real. It's real.
Not once did I ever think that I would see the Millennium Falcon
Like in all
in
its
person.
glory.
And yeah, I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh man, it's just something else.
So you guys know you ever hear the theory that like the inside of the Falcon doesn't match up with the actual specs of like it's like the building specs?
Like they
Is
show
that
more
true?
space than
Now that you're in
sounds,
there?
That sounds about right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's in a weird show building when you go. You mean like when you go on the actual ride, right?
Yeah, when you go in there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't match up to the actual.
Okay,
It's got to be a
okay.
little bit smaller.
So
Gotta
you're
be a
not-
little bit-
Yeah.
You're not going into that Falcon that you're looking at when you go on the
No,
ride.
you're not. You're going into a
Okay.
show building behind it.
Ah,
But there's so
okay.
many like twists and turns while you're in line, you kind of just forget.
Yeah,
What's
you kind of lose
happening?
track of where you're at.
Oh,
That's how
I,
they fake you out. Yeah.
this makes sense.
Yep.
You know what? It doesn't matter. Your imagination just fills in all of the lies.
Oh man.
I've been wanting to try a Ronto wrap for.
Oh,
Oh, those are good. They're so good.
I bet they are.
Even the vegan one. I'm a big meat eater, but there's a vegan one they've got, and that one I almost might like better.
Really?
wow.
It's really good.
Is it a like Beyond kind of thing? I guess?
Yeah, it's like a fake meat kind of thing, and it's got like some cucumber relish on there. It's really like fresh and vibrant tasting compared to the other
Nice.
one, which is a little more meaty. It has slaw in it too, but it's just it's a slightly different, little tangier flavor, but it's really good.
So,
Nice.
what is your go-to Star Wars movie? Like, I mean, if you're about to throw something on Star Wars, what is the one that you gravitate towards the most?
Probably Rogue One, actually. Yeah, lately it shifts all the time. Like every year it's gonna be different. But lately it's been Rogue One has been my go-to more than anything.
I love the beginning of Rogue One, how it starts off with the ship flying across the planet. It gives you this like visual beauty of the galaxy in Star Wars Galaxy, where and I love how it shows you the planets and stuff. Like it gives you the name and of the
Oh yeah, the
planets
first
that
time we
you're-
see titles. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Titles
was
for the
like,
planets.
wow,
It's
man, I wish
different.
they translated that into the other movies, but that's the only
I
one
think
I feel like
in
they
different
do it in.
movies we'll see that.
Yeah.
Did they do it in Solo? I think maybe in the blurb in the
No.
beginning they
No.
mentioned something. They said like Corellian
No.
shipyards, but that was it.
Yeah, I think they did it. I think you're right about that. I remember
But they
seeing
didn't
the
title
Corellian
it the same way.
Right.
It was
right.
it was just a different style of writing in the beginning, but it
Like
wasn't
they
like,
did,
Rogue
they did
One.
like the 3 years later. They had that text up there. For,
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah. Yeah, I'm sure they'll change stuff, and I mean it's good. We gotta mix it up every now and again. So I mean, now that the Skywalker saga is over, the sky's the limit. They can make new
They can
traditions.
go wherever.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm all about it.
Yeah. So video games, how where did your video game experience with Star Wars begin? What's your favorite? Where did you start playing them? What
I think
system
my
was
first like real Star Wars video game experience was Shadows of the Empire on N64. That was probably my first like true
I never
Star
played
Wars
that
experience.
one.
Really,
Oh,
that's
so
a great
good.
one.
What's
That
this
is
like?
such a good one.
Who are you in that game?
Dash
It-
Rendar.
Dash Rendar.
See, now that's how he got his popularity, isn't it?
Yes, is that video
Okay.
game. That video game is huge. And if you played not Fallen Order. Yeah, Fallen Order. The newest one. Fallen Order actually takes a lot. It feels like a lot of stuff was taken from what was the game I just said?
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire. Like, I'm blanking on the name. But yeah, Shadows of the Empire. Like you have to take out an ATST when you're on foot. In both of those games, it feels very similar. It's you jump in vehicles and do these. I don't know if you played Fallen Order. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
We all did.
yeah, like when you jump into the. Sorry, any listeners and viewers. I'm gonna mild spoilers here for the game if you haven't played it. But there's parts where you go to Kashyyyk and you're controlling one of the AT-ATs.
Mhm.
And just these like cool things that you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know I was going to do that in this game.
Yeah.
And it had a very similar feel in Shadows of the Empire, where you go from being on foot in the Battle of Hoth, like inside the Rebel base, and then all of a sudden you're flying one of the snow speeders, taking out AT-ATs. You're on Ord Mantell fighting against IG-88. You come into contact with Boba Fett. There's like Dianogas in the water. Like it is such
so
a
dope.
cool
I
Star
like-
Wars experience. I love
I
it.
love the random how you fight the bounty hunter and stuff in Fallen Order. How like they show
Yeah, they
up.
just kind of show up. Yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't. I like the second playthrough that I did. They didn't show up the same time that they did through
Yeah,
my first
kinda random.
playthrough. So I was like, yeah, that's actually really awesome. I love
So-
it.
And there's
Grease's-
different pairs
it's all
of
Grease's
bounty
fault.
hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that captures you though for the thing, I think that's the same though, right? That bounty. It almost looks
I don't
like-
know. I think whichever set captures you first takes you to that part of the story.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
end up defeating them, you're cool until maybe you get to another planet and they show up. And as soon as they catch you is when you activate that section of the story where you gotta
Okay.
go.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm having a hard time beating that through my second playthrough.
Oh, I was about to say, I thought you beat it already. Yeah.
I did, but I have it on. I'm trying to beat it on like a nice difficulty, so I'm like, I'm not turning this down. I'm not turning the difficulty down.
It's hard. It is a hard game.
I'm a man. I can do this. It's nothing to do.
Listen. I wanted to get through it, and when I say get through it, like I was more on story than challenge me with hard stages and whatnot. Like I love the story, but figuring things out in that game, like I gotta jump here and do that over there so that I can get over there, made me feel so smart. And I was just like, I was like, I'm a genius. Like this is amazing. But
It's a sign of a good game, though. A good
Yeah.
game
Yeah.
that teaches you how to play it without having to tell you with, do this, do that. It just kind of teaches you through gameplay gradually. Hey, this is how the game works.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a really good game.
Yeah, and the fighting mechanics so smooth, and the way you have to counter, it's not that. As much as I loved the Force Unleashed and being able to just friggin' hack and slash your way through the whole game, this was so much more like,
More about skill.
yeah, it was very skillful.
Yeah, timing,
and-
very like
Yeah.
you have to time it just right.
Mhm.
All your parries and everything. Yeah, it was a very good,
Yeah.
like well thought out battle system.
yeah, it was pretty cool. So, Squadrons.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. I loved in Battlefront 2 being able to do all of the space fighting and stuff like that. I thought it was freaking awesome. They did a great job.
Yeah.
I really can't wait to see like the engine they use in this game and to see how much different it's going to feel. Also being able to like all of the upgrading, you upgrade your pilot, you can customize him.
Yeah.
all of
that
that's-
looks cool.
I think
That looks really cool.
Alex from Star Wars Explained was talking about how he needs Biggs to have mustache capabilities for your fighter pilots. I'm down with that. I need a big 70 stash for my guy. I don't think he's a Star Wars pilot without one. But what are you most excited for Squadrons?
You know, I love the idea that it's cross-play and that we're going to be able to... That's why I started the group, the Squad Up group, is because I figure there's going to be people who want to play with each other, and it doesn't matter what system we're on.
That's awesome.
If you're on PC, PS4, Xbox, whatever, we can all play, and we can just kind of like, hey, I'm going on now. If any of y'all want to join me, let's squad up.
That's
such a cool communal idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love not having to worry about, and like, because I'm an Xbox guy. So,
I think we all are.
But, you know, it sucks, like, with other games, like, you know, having to worry about, like, oh, I have a PS4. I'm like, well, can't play.
Yeah, see, I'm a PS4 guy, but we're still going to be able to go out there and shoot each other on October 4th. So
yeah,
I mean, you should definitely have like PlayStation versus Xbox Squadrons. You know, the Xbox Squadrons.
Listen, the PC guys are going to
destroy us all.
They'll have an advantage for sure.
Yes.
Oh, look at this bot I just came up with. It's automatic aiming.
Man.
But
I look forward to the challenge of PC players.
Tommy's like, yeah, bring them on.
I want to get one of those flight sticks for my PS4. One of those like the full throttle and flight stick. I'm setting one of those up. I found one for like I think it was like $100. I'm like, you know what? If I can put my Rebel pilot suit on, helmet and everything, and do that, it's worth it.
Get one of those.
Build like a makeshift cockpit.
Yeah, yeah. Like moves up all around.
Yep.
Like you know, for Dan Miller and myself, who have not got to go to Galaxy's Edge, like Battlefront and this upcoming, I'm sorry, even Fallen Order and Squadrons are like the the most immersive like experiences, I think, like being in the Star Wars universe outside of going to Galaxy's Edge, I think.
Yeah, and Squadrons is going to be fully available in VR.
Yeah.
So I'm busting out my PSVR for that thing too.
And now I need to get that.
That's
and there's a Galaxy's Edge VR coming too.
Yeah, and I have to have that.
That's going to be amazing, also. So it's worth getting the VR. Just
Chris is going to be walking around his apartment.
Worth it. Worth it.
Yeah, the VR. I've got to try out these VR experiences because they had it at Celebration. The Darth Vader. Remember they had the Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, Vader Immortal.
Yeah, I want to try that out so bad.
My son has it. I haven't played it yet, but he loves it.
The stories it's pretty good. I like the story a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, you have it?
Huh.
No, I watch YouTube videos of it.
Now, are you guys all going to Celebration? What is it, 2022?
Oh
yeah.
I can't believe it's 22.
I deferred my tickets because, like,
so did I.
I mean, like, it was a no-brainer for me.
I want to go either
personally.
way.
Yeah,
I'm going either way.
Because, like, they were like, "You want your money back?" I was like, "Look, I already spent that money. Just keep it.
It's better we just secure my tickets."
Yeah, exactly. And like now it just gives me more time to save up. Like I've got 2 full years to throw some money aside and
and go big.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're gonna have to have some meetups and everything.
Oh, totally.
And all that happens. I'm gonna be so busy that whole Celebration. I know it. Just between meetups from my groups, meetups with it's gonna be the best time.
I
can't wait.
It's a great busy. It's a great.
It's the best kind of busy. The best kind of busy.
How many celebrations have you been to so far?
Just one. 2015.
Which one?
I didn't.
Which one's that?
Anaheim. It was in Anaheim. 2015.
Okay, all right. That was
it was when they announced The Force Awakens.
Yes. All right.
I was there in the room for The Force Awakens trailer drop.
Oh,
that was amazing.
That was
so amazing. And like, I'm really happy my kids were there too. So they have that memory also of like,
that's dope.
Yeah, we were there when they dropped. In the room.
I was. I actually was looking into going to that one, and I didn't know anybody at this point. And once that dropped, I really started getting to know a lot more people, started doing the podcasting and meeting all of these awesome people, Chris eventually. But when I went to Orlando was my first one. It was the one after, I think it was 2017. Was that 2017? Yeah.
Or was it? Yeah. 18, I think.
Or 18. Yeah, 18, I think.
Something like that. They did a weird thing with the years. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was such a good time. And I still didn't know that many people, but at Orlando, I met a lot of people. And then after Orlando, we had Chicago. Chicago was 2018.
Yeah, no, yeah. Chicago was 19.
19.
To 19.
Chicago was
All right.
19, and then before, yeah, I don't.
There was
Before that was Orlando.
Yeah,
That would have been
yeah.
18.
I think it was 18.
And there was one overseas.
That's right.
Was that
Yeah,
like
that's the one I think
Or UK.
the UK one. It was Orlando, UK, and then Chicago.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
yeah.
so.
No.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Chicago was the most
sure.
recent.
Someone is
Chicago
gonna.
was the most recent in 19.
Yeah, that's all
for
I
sure.
know. And that was so far Chicago has been the best time I ever had, was because I knew people going out there. I met up with people, like we had a group of people like that, just it was so awesome. And I had the best. Like Anaheim is going to be amazing. Like
It's gonna be nuts. Yeah.
That's
And
what
I
I'm
don't know about you,
hoping
Dan.
for.
That's my first time in California.
Oh, me too.
Going to, for Zen- yeah.
If I don't go,
you've never been.
If I don't go before 2022, like just to go out there, it will be my first time in California. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm excited.
And are you planning
I think
to do the whole thing? Go to Disneyland also and Galaxy's Edge?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Right on.
yeah, the
Right
whole
on.
shebang.
I'm gonna
Yep.
be there when they see it for the first time. I'm not gonna hold Chris. Just let you go.
He's gonna see two. Tommy's just gonna witness two grown men weep.
I'm gonna record everything. That's what's gonna happen.
better have tissues and the recording going on, because I'm
Crying
gonna
into
be
my
crying.
blue milk. Just
I'm gonna have Chewy come and comfort you guys.
My credit card is going to melt. It's gonna melt in my hands. It's gonna be.
Oh yeah. It's going
I think what I'm going to try to do that weekend, one of the evenings, is I'm going to see if I can get a bunch of people to max out reservations on Oga's at like a set time.
Yeah.
And just have a bunch of people who like
super
kind of
private
know
party.
each other fill Oga's.
Yes.
Like,
That would
wouldn't that be
be-
cool?
Private
Yeah.
party.
Just like
That is-
the 180 days before it goes up, everybody's online that night. We all plan it. We're looking for a 7:00 slot on Saturday or something like
go.
that.
That's the
I'm down.
cantina,
Buddy.
right?
The cantina,
That's,
Oga's
yeah,
cantina.
okay.
And that way we just get a bunch of people who somewhat know each other
Yeah.
all packing the cantina. Like that would be
Yeah.
so cool to just be
Yeah.
like, oh, hey, that would be amazing. That'd be to have
Yeah.
everybody there from across the country or world even
Yeah.
showing up, and that'd be cool. So
Well, that's the
I'm going to
greatest
try
part.
to do something like that.
That's the greatest part about Celebration, is like, and then especially if it's in an area where Galaxy's Edge is now, because like
Yes.
all of the people, all these Star Wars fans from around the world are going to be there. So
Yeah.
We're gonna like eat, sleep, and breathe Star Wars. Not that I don't already, but like
Right.
we're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna do it on those days, like
Yeah.
for real.
I
We're all doing it
legit,
together. It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
I was depressed for like maybe like it was just because I think it was just so much excitement for like the 4 days being out at Celebration with all these people, like that, like the couple days afterwards, I was just like,
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, it is sad.
Yeah.
It is a hard come down, man.
Yeah.
It's like I miss my friends and stuff. Star
Yeah.
Wars.
I miss my hotel.
Yeah.
Everything.
I didn't miss that too much, but yeah, I'm excited for Galaxy's Edge, man. You guys like seeing the videos. Like, it's man, it just looks like such an amazing place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell
And-
every single Star Wars fan, if you're a Star Wars fan, you got to experience it at least once in your life.
Yeah.
Are you going to try out the hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have to. I don't know if like hopefully I'll have the money set aside
yeah.
for it to when it goes live to book, and I'll be able to do it right away. But either way, at some point, I absolutely will. Hopefully in the early days of it.
They give you like a
but-
mission dossier, like you get
Yeah,
like,
and I don't know if it's been scrapped. Like COVID's going to change a lot of things, especially with that. But initially, they were saying that you would get clothes. They'd give you clothes to wear, like
get-
your own Star Wars style getup, and
you-
like
apparently
I
from
didn't-
the
yeah, I'm all
apparently
for
from
it.
the minute you check in, you are literally on this role playing adventure.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
hope I get a cape. I just want a cape.
Yes.
It's like I wonder if like
Half
when you're
capes
ordering
from
the
Alder Randy,
tickets,
half
if
cape.
you like you're ordering the tickets, it's like a cape optional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
That's-
definitely plan on doing that. That it's just going to be amazing. I mean, it's going to be like a cruise ship, but
Yeah.
That's
not.
I love
That's kind of the
I love
vibe.
the whole
In
idea.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great though if like you're not allowed to leave the hotel, sir. You're actually floating through space.
Well, the weird part is though is they have like an excursion day where you take a transport to Batu.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna can you only visit Batu or can you visit the rest of the park?
Yeah,
I know you enter and exit through Galaxy's Edge, but
fourth wall. You're breaking the fourth wall.
It's like if you're supposed to be.
I have no need to go to the rest of Disney World. I did that when I was a child, and the only reason I went to Disney World when I was a child is because Star Tours had just opened up. So that was the only reason.
The Star Tours is in the same park, so you got to pay to visit.
Yeah.
Aren't they? I heard they are like. I mean, they're slowly chopping that away, out.
There's rumors. Nothing substantiated quite yet, but it's definitely heavily rumored that it might go away, which is going to really that'll sadden me a lot.
I heard,
Star Tours has been like that's been one of my favorites forever.
I gotta because I want to go to that.
Hence, I made the droid. Like, look at my logo.
Yeah,
it's like the Star Tours logo. You know, like I love Star Tours.
Yeah.
I have to go to that ride every single time.
Yeah. I forgot how old I was when it came out. Maybe 11, maybe 12, something like that. I wept, well, like in the ride and whatnot. I was just, I've arrived. Like
It's real.
Yeah, and that'll happen again in 2022.
I'm the spy. Me. Isn't there like someone that's like a spy or something on it or something?
Yeah. They cycle through the audience and like get a shot of them.
Chris does me. You came here.
It was cool. The last time, one of the last times I was there, we held a droid meetup where everyone brought their custom painted droids, and we did a ride takeover of Star Tours. So it was all of us like basically packed the first like 3 or 4 rows. There was a couple people in back that weren't part of our group, but mostly it was like 85-90% droid builders with their droids riding Star Tours. And of course, we got to we ended it by going to Batu, but part of it was one of our builders was the Rebel spy. So like we just lost it. We were like the loudest Star Tours train. Everybody was cheering, laughing, yelling. Like, it was great.
I just go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say, like, as far as like interactions, like being a spy and whatnot, like with Galaxy's Edge on Batu, I will dime out Vimerati in a heartbeat. I'm just like, I'll be there with a First Order T-shirt on, like you can't even mistake it. You're like, where have you seen her? I'm like, she's over there.
She's right there.
Let's go. I'm with you, Supreme Leader.
But you ever see that video of the little girl that kneels before Darth Vader?
Oh yeah.
She's like at the I think it's a Jedi Academy or whatever, and she kneels. I was
that would be awesome. My daughter. I'm like, that's.
That was the best. I need that Disney experience. I gotta go because you hear so many people who grow up going to Disney who are Star Wars fans talk about Star Tours and all of that stuff, and that's where it all began. Galaxy's Edge is just like, they just amped it up to 1,000 with that, but you can't forget about the roots, Star Tours and everything. I definitely want to check that out.
What was messed up was when I went for the first time, I had, I think, for myself, and at that time for a 12-year-old or 11-year-old, $300 to myself was like,
that's a lot.
It was a limitless amount of money. I spent that all the first ride. I spent it all in the gift shop the first ride. I had nothing left, and I was like, well, I did what I didn't need to do.
So
I'll be at the hotel.
Tommy, Dano, when it comes to tips and tricks, like on first timers going to Galaxy's Edge, like how to plan, what to see first, or things you need to be aware of when you go there, like, is there any information that you can give people out there?
Well, I know Dano has a lot.
One of the big ones would be getting ready to get a boarding pass for Rise of Resistance. That ride is kind of hard to get onto.
Yeah.
And the boarding passes go quick. So be aware of, be ready at park opening with your app. It's different in Florida. They use the Disney Experience app. Disneyland uses the Disneyland app. But you have to get a boarding pass. And if you don't get that boarding pass, you don't get to ride it. And it's one of those you can't miss kind of attractions because it is so immersive, so cool. It's one of the best parts of Galaxy's Edge, riding Rise of Resistance. So that should be your number one focus, is that. But if you're planning, if you're visiting and you can't go often, it's like your one shot to go there. Do a little research ahead of time and figure out what kind of things you want to do. Figure out, do you want to build a droid?
Yes.
Do you want to build a lightsaber?
Yes.
And book those reservations up to, I think, 6 months they do now, up to 6 months in advance. And it's a little different now with COVID, but if that's something you want to do, book those reservations as soon as you can. Same thing with Oga's Cantina. And otherwise, just set like a nice budget. Look at the merch that's out there and figure out what you want and be budgeted and ready for it, because it adds up so fast.
Yeah.
It gets very expensive very quick. And the more planning you can put towards how much you're going to spend on stuff, the better you'll feel about it, because you're like, no, I knew this was coming. It's less of a hit, you know. But the more you can just plan for like that, because it's like there's the two rides, Smuggler's Run and Rise of Resistance, but still most of the stuff you do there is either eating and shopping, so it tends to add up pretty quick. But it's some of the coolest, like neatest, most unique items, like the holocrons, the kyber crystals, all that stuff.
Inside Doc Under our shop is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so awesome in there. One thing that I do recommend on top of what Daniel said is in the matter of, spending as less time as possible in line, use the app to order food ahead of time. That's one thing that we did.
I'm used to that when it comes to, you ever use the Atom app at movie theaters?
Oh, can you order your concessions ahead of time?
Oh my God, it's the best.
Same deal.
Everyone's in line and I'm like, suckers.
Oh, speaking of movie theaters, yesterday I was fortunate enough to go. We did a private screening of Empire Strikes Back for me and like 10 of my friends. It was only $100 through Cinemark.
Yo, that's awesome.
$99, and you could pick which movie. It was like Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Empire, a bunch of older movies. But up to 20 guests for $99. We each just chipped in a couple bucks and took the family, a bunch of friends, and we got to go to the movies during all of this and see Empire, of all things, on the big screen. That's totally awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah, AMC was doing this 10 cents like movie ticket
like
thing.
15 cent tickets.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, it was. That's great to try to
Buy
bring
the whole
people
theater.
back. But I mean, it's just a shame how things are getting all wacky because of COVID. I mean, yeah. If you can practice safe, social distancing and masks and stuff like that at the movie theater, and
that's why I like the private theater thing, because I was like, oh, these are just people I know. I don't have to worry about strangers. These are people I know are on top of their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I talk to them regularly. We're all good.
Yeah.
Cool. It's a controlled environment.
Right.
And
I like that.
And it's still, even with all of us each chipping in $5 to $10 or whatever, it didn't cost anybody a whole lot. Like not any more than a normal movie ticket. And we got to see like a classic movie in theaters that we would have normally not gotten to see, and who knows how long.
Totally. Yeah, we actually Rise of Skywalker, our buddy Gerard, he was able to rent out a whole movie theater opening
he went
day.
all out.
Oh my God, did he go all out? He was awesome with all of that. Great host. Dan
and I both drove 7 hours
to Massachusetts.
To go see.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, we made it a thing.
Worth it.
Like, it was totally worth it. Cause like, I was like, look, this is the series finale. Like this is the movie that ends it all. Not all of it, but you know what I mean? Like ends the Skywalker saga. Like I was like, I'm willing to travel out and have a good time with friends. Like that's so much fun. Having a whole movie theater full of all your buddies. Cause like, I wasn't worried about like screaming out loud or anything like that when something cool happened, and
we did.
Yeah. I feel bad for James when Lando popped up. You probably destroyed all the blood vessels.
Yeah,
in his leg.
I've got an issue with hitting whoever's next to me. I think the one time I yelled out like "Yellow lightsaber!" like right at the very end, like when Rey ignited her new saber. I was always waiting for a yellow saber to come out. That was so dope.
Yeah. So
for Tommy and Dana, what was the first thing you guys had to eat at Galaxy's Edge?
First thing I had was actually a breakfast Ronto wrap. I had a breakfast Ronto wrap and Mugan tea. Yeah, it's got eggs, cheese, and that same sausage and like a good sauce. It's so good.
That sounds delicious.
I actually had a Ronto wrap also.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really good.
Now, what is it?
I'm gonna use that cookbook I got back here. I'm gonna see if I can make something.
Do they give you?
I love the drink section of that cookbook.
They give you a choice of meat. Like, what's the Ronto? Is it beef?
So the Ronto wrap, the normal like just lunch and dinner one, It's a certain sausage. It's like a really spicy kind of really good sausage, good snap on it, and it's like a pork, like a not kind of shaved pork that's also on the outside of it, and a coleslaw and some kind of like spicy mayo. Ooh. I don't know what the exact sauce is, but it's those. It's like slaw, sausage, and shredded, not really shredded, but like sliced pork that goes around it in like a pita, kind of a pita. And then the breakfast one, instead of the slaw and everything, it's eggs, cheese, that same sausage, and a little bit of that sauce. It's really good. Yeah.
And then I had a drink with my Ronto. It was a sour sarlacc,
yeah.
And it gives that numbing feeling on your tongue. It's weird.
Oh, that's that one. Yeah, I heard about that.
What is it? The fuzzy tauntaun does that too over at Oga's. It's got this foam on it, and that foam, it like numbs your mouth too. That stuff's crazy.
How are the alcoholic drinks?
Sweet but delicious.
They're good.
That's what I was just saying. I like you mentioned the cookbook. One of my favorite parts of that cookbook is all the alcoholic drinks they've got on there. You can make them at home.
That's pretty cool.
Like the Dagobah Slug Slinger. That's one of my favorites. It's kind of like a margarita, but with rosemary and ginger. It's like a syrup you have to make for it.
Pulling Chris
a lot
out
of those drinks.
I gotta look in there and see if there's a look, I tell these guys, if I were living in the Star Wars universe, my retirement destination would be Cloud City. So I'm looking to see if they've got any like Bespin Fizzes or something like that. I know there's something
they
like
don't.
that.
There is a Bespin Fizz drink at Oga's, but I don't think it's in the book. I don't think it's in the book.
Yeah, that's cool. So there is different drinks that
they do have like Bespin Cloud Puffs. It's like a meringue puff that you can make in that cookbook. And they're like little clouds, like a dessert.
Sweet.
Yeah, nice.
I'm making it.
Actually, I have a few questions.
Sure.
So there's 3 trilogies. What's your favorite movie from each respective trilogy?
Ooh, okay, let's start with prequels. Phantom Menace. I gotta say Phantom. I love the pod racing. It's the beginning of it all. Jar Jar Binks is ridiculous, but I still love him.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. It makes me laugh every time. Every time he gets his lips stuck in the binders, I'm just like,
but the whole pod racing sequence, just all of it, I love. Even though I know like we got its cycle of for a little while where everybody was like, no, they're terrible. I still really like Phantom Menace. I've always liked it. Nice. So original trilogy, Empire. I got to go with Empire. Have to. And sequel trilogy, that's tough. I have a weird love-hate with Rise of Skywalker. I like a lot of it, but I really don't like a lot of it too. Like I enjoyed it and I had a good time with the movie, but when I sit and really think about it, I don't like that movie. But I like so much about it. It's kind of it's a weird thing.
It's got cool moments, like a lot of
there's a lot of cool stuff that happened, but as a whole, and with my love of Galaxy's Edge and how it takes place between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I love that time period, and Rise of Skywalker messes up a lot of that for me personally. So that's why I'm like, I don't like you for that reason. But I really do, as weird as it is, like Last Jedi a whole lot. I love that movie. I think I'm gonna have to put that as my favorite of the sequels. Right on. I like Force Awakens a lot, but for some reason, Last Jedi is one that I go to a little bit more often out of those 3.
Yeah, I'm
between Solo and Rogue One, which one? Obviously
Rogue One.
Yeah,
Rogue One. I love Solo, and I still throw that on pretty often too. But that one, at first, I didn't love it. I did like a review. I was like, "This is weird. It's a Star Wars movie, and I don't love it, and that feels wrong." But I grew to love it once it came out on like digital, and it just became one of those things I throw on in the background, and I just watch it more. The more I watched it, the more I pick up little things in it. And I really, really did grow to love that movie a lot, way more than I did when I first saw it in theaters. But I still have to pick Rogue One out of those 2.
I like that you're saying that you like these movies. Like you're not saying that you hate it. You just hate parts of it, which is great.
Yeah, I mean it's Star Wars. I can't hate Star Wars. I love it all, man. I just love being there. Anytime I can spend in a galaxy far, far away, especially if away from here, out Earth, the better.
I'm on the same wavelength as you, because I like all the movies. I just like some more than others.
Yeah. I mean, none of them are perfect, but it's still fun. It's still fun to spend your time there.
Like me, Attack of the Clones, when it comes to the prequels, is my fave, and everyone trashes the hell out of that movie. And I'm like, that movie is so pivotal in the whole prequel trilogy. I'm like, that movie opens up so much stuff. And I know it's not perfect, but God, I love it.
I don't know.
I always thought that Attack of the Clones would age better as it went along. This is what I thought, like back in 2002. I thought it was going to age better as it went along, and a lot of people still have these negative feelings about it. I don't understand.
I feel like it's gotten a lot more love these days than it used to, but still, man. One time I said it was my favorite. Someone was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "What,
Star Wars.
what are you talking about? I love this." They're like, Anakin's so cringe in that. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't know how to talk to a woman yet. Like, he does.
True.
He's a baby.
He's been in a space monastery for 10 years.
Yeah, he hangs out with a guy who doesn't want him to talk to women. Like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's that's my favorite in the prequels. And like when you said sequels, I feel like it's tough right now, like because it's so fresh.
They need to age.
Yeah,
they do
like,
need to age.
Like they do
sure.
need to age a little bit for you to really wrap your head around all of them. Because Phantom Menace was always one of my favorite prequels, but it grew into Attack of the Clones, and I think it was just because of it aging.
Yeah,
So. Return of the Jedi was always my. I hate to call favorites on things, you know that, guys, but Return of the Jedi is when I watched the most. I was 8 when it came out. That was the first time I was able to go to the theater, like with me and my friends and whatnot. So we had had a great memories of that. With the sequel trilogy, as much as I love them all, Last Jedi is brilliance. It's brilliance. I love that movie. My only issue with the sequel trilogy is, and you know where I'm going with this, guys. It's yes.
yeah.
That is such a unique story that they never really delved into. Like, all that energy was spent on the Rey and Ben story, and I get it, and that's an amazing story. There's something so amazing about Finn's story that I think that they could have gone into, and they kind of dropped the ball on that.
He could have,
He
could have been a Kyle Katarn. He really could.
It's like literally at the end of Rise of Skywalker. It's like, yeah, he's force sensitive. All right, see you later. That's kind of like that's how it felt.
I was like, well, comic books,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's opportunity there.
He deserves more.
He does.
Yeah,
For
he
sure.
totally
And speaking
does.
of opportunity, like me, Dan, and Chris have talked a lot about like what we want to see, or we would like to see in the future as far as Star Wars. What would you like to see, Daniel?
This might sound a little ridiculous, but I want a Spinal Tap type mockumentary about Figure and Dan and the Modal Nodes.
Oh,
Right, like a touring movie, like follow them touring different planets and the troubles they get into as a band.
And did you read
From a certain point of view?
Yes.
Oh,
I did not.
yeah.
I did not. Never heard of it.
I think it was in that book was something about that band, and the lead.
Oh, really?
Was like this. The lead had all kinds of money troubles. He was like a horrible band leader.
See, this sounds perfect. I want this movie.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want more like genre films set in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I want like more of a film noir style. Give me a Pulp Fiction, but in Star Wars. Give me we had Solo, which was kind of a Western in Star Wars, but I want more specific genres, but just set in the Star Wars universe. Like, give me a full pod racing film, Days of Thunder style, just pod racing.
That's what I'm talking
about. Right?
I've been kicking around the idea of a Star Wars comedy for a while. I just don't know how to execute that. But
Jason Sudeikis says that Stormtrooper.
Oh no, they're dead.
They're
dead. They're dead. IG-11 killed them. Spoilers. They're gone.
Before.
But yes.
Yeah, we could do it before that. Yeah.
Yeah.
How he started his career as a stormtrooper,
Do a Tag and Bink if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Right.
A Tag and Bink story, Absolutely.
That would hit. You're right.
Definitely hit.
I would
there's
love
so many
to see some
avenues you can
comedy.
go.
Because with Solo, they wanted to make it a comedy, but apparently there was the Christopher Miller and
Lord and Miller, right?
Yeah, Christopher Lord and Miller. They apparently they were making it too like
It was too
Ace
comedy for their
Ventura.
liking.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it was like Ace Ventura meets Star Wars and Han Solo, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I can't see like Han Solo being like, oh, right.
Yeah, they did like a I think they did like a pre-screening for like a small audience, and it did not go well with that audience.
Oh boy, I would love to see the pre-screening of the original.
I wanna
like
see it
I
too.
want to see the Miller cut. I want to see the Lord and Miller cut. Damn it!
All kinds of ad libs. I think that was a problem. They had a whole bunch of ad libs. I'm like, you can't ad lib in Star Wars. You gotta. Well, I mean, you can because I know came out of an ad lib.
Aaron Reich, have you seen Hail Caesar? Hilarious.
Yeah.
Aaron, he's so funny in that.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he could pull that off, but I think like what he did, and I think what Ron Howard did was perfect. Like Star Wars
good
needs
cleanup.
that little bit of comedy, but you also got to have that drama edge to it to make it feel like you're in that.
Yeah.
And one of the other things about Solo is, and one of the reasons why I love this so much is because the fate of the galaxy wasn't in the balance. Like nothing hung in the balance like that. It was just a story within the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
And and I love that.
It was just a fun story. Yeah, that's what I say about Soul all the time. I was like, I just had fun watching it.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, as far as the future goes, though, with Galaxy's Edge, I'm really excited to see how they're going to tie the High Republic into Galaxy's Edge, because I feel like Batuu, it's the height of the Jedi, and I feel like Batuu is going to be a real, like that's when Batuu was like the trading post was like at its like peak too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Batuu's an ancient outpost. So,
Right.
Yeah, it goes back a long time.
So
It's actually Batuu, I believe, was I can't remember how long ago. I think it was like 400 years to 1,000 years ago that Batuu used to be a lot more active, and it was thriving at one point. But I think ever since like the opening of certain space lanes, hyperlanes,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
started
Then everybody
skipping
kind of
over it.
abandoned.
Yeah.
Batuu. In the Rise of Resistance, the Q line that you go through, you're going through ancient ruins.
Yeah.
From hundreds of years ago that the
Yeah.
Resistance set. If you read the Galaxy's Edge, I forget what it's called. I think it's just Black Spire Outpost or Black Spire, the one with Vimrati on the cover.
Yeah.
It's her setting up the Resistance base in those old ruins.
Yeah.
So part of the
awesome.
book is her exploring them and like.
Such a good book. Yeah.
And when you go in the ride, that's what you're going through is those ancient ruins. It's pretty cool.
I love.
And see, that is the one thing that would make me not dime out Vimrati. Is I read that book and I love that character, but I'm like,
He's still gonna do it. You know you will.
I'm probably still gonna dime her out. I feel bad about that.
I love how we get history like that in the Star Wars universe. How they give us that, like the Zepho in the like Fallen Order, like all of this different history that like has happened before, and things that we might be able to see happen again. You know, like stories that they can touch on. Like, give us a
Like the
Zepho
Mortis
story,
arc
man.
from
yeah,
Clone Wars.
yes,
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's some cool stuff there.
Love it, man.
Yeah.
Well,
It's like untold history of the Mortar story arc.
yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot more. And they even
And,
showed it in like Rebels with the world between worlds. And
Yes.
there's so much there too. Like
Filoni, the genius. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah, George cut out my man right here, Revan.
uh,
Yeah, him and Darth Bane. He could have been in it.
Is Revan canon yet? Didn't they?
He's canon.
Okay. Like
Again,
Bane is.
through Rise of Skywalker. He's canon.
Yeah.
At least with the Revan.
Revanites.
No,
No.
Revan Corps. It's like some section of those stormtroopers.
Oh.
Sith troopers. Like
Yeah,
of their
it's one of-
troops, like
one of the
Revan something.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
one of
used
the-
his name.
Yeah, one of the Sith legions was named after Revan. He was made canon along with a few other Sith lords that were in Legends as well.
Yep.
Nice.
So it was a good addition. So
Bringing it
I
all
think
together.
it's a precursor. So let's see what happens in the future.
That's right. Well, it looks like we're closing in on an hour here. Dano, man, thank you so much for joining us on Shootin The Poo-Doo. This is it's great. We're gonna have more guests on, but you're like one of our first, and you are
right
our
on.
first actually.
Yeah, of this new format. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Cool.
thanks for joining us. would you like to give out all your info? Tell people where they can
Sure.
find
Yeah,
you,
why
all
not?
that good stuff.
All right, where to start?
Yeah.
Mostly I'm on YouTube, so you can look up the Dano channel on YouTube or youtube.com/the Dano channel. And same thing with Instagram at Dano Florez, Twitter, the Dano channel. But some of the groups and communities that I've started up, the Droid Builder group I mentioned earlier, you can find at mubosdbc.com. So it's mubosdbc.com. And also something I didn't talk about too much, but the Batu Bounty Hunt group. I started a bounty hunters guild with like bounty hunt events that we do. We're doing them online right now due to COVID, but once the parks open back up, it'll be a live in-park live stream game that we do through like Instagram. Awesome. But that can be found at batubountyhunt.com. We have a bunch of like custom patches and pins and stuff that I'm selling through there too.
Can you break down how that works?
Yeah.
So it's been different every time, and it's kind of because it's like a live game, I'm still workshopping it every time I do it. The first time I did it, I just went live on Instagram and I said, look, if you guys can find me, you'll claim a bag of 3D printed credits that I made. And so, if you can find me, cool. Just tell me the code word. And I gave out a code word. I forget what it was, but someone found me in like 3 minutes the first time. I was like, wow, awesome. That was fast.
Yeah.
So I did a couple more later in the day and they all went pretty quick. They're like no more than like 5 minutes per hunt. So a couple weeks later, I went back for another like event at Galaxy's Edge, and I did it a little different. I said, all right, I need somebody to give me proof that they've hacked the Millennium Falcon. Because if you use the Datapad app, the Disney Play app, there's a Datapad function you can use in Galaxy's Edge to hack door panels. And if you hack the Falcon, you make the jets go off. Like on the real big, huge Falcon, like you make the jets go off.
That's so
there's
cool.
the TIE, there's like the weird TIE fighter in the First Order area. You can hack that and make it like blink the lights. You can make the Dianoga pop out of the water fountain. So what I did this hunt, and I was in Oga's and I went live on Instagram, was walking around saying, all right, if you want to claim the bounty, I need you to hack the Falcon. The target's trying to get away, and I need to make sure that ship can't leave Batu. So if you can bring me proof that you've hacked the Falcon, a video clip or something, then you can claim it.
That is
and so
awesome.
I roamed around until someone showed up and was like, here, I did it. I hacked it. Here's proof. I was like, all right, you get you claim the bounty. And then they had like I put a little paper in there. It said, roll a die for a ship. And so I had like a little Hot Wheels Mandalorian Razor Crest. So I was like, I had a chance cube. It's like, all right, if it's blue, you get the ship. If it's red, you don't.
I happen to have a chance cube.
Exactly. So I've been designing these bounty hunts that once the parks open up, I've got a multi-step one that's going to be coming soon, starting on the Falcon, where I've gotten some stuff from a guy called Hondo Supply. He does like a lot of like plastic. If you guys can see this ID here.
Hey, Hondo.
Yeah.
He does IDs like this. He made
That's
some
so cool.
the placards that you get when you ride Smuggler's Run for the different jobs, pilot, gunner, engineer.
Yeah.
And so one of the next ones I want to do is I want to start and say, look, I need a crew to pilot the Falcon. We need to make some money and give out those plastic ones that he printed for me to whoever of the two engineers, whoever gets the highest score. Cool. Awesome. Whoever of the two pilots, you get whoever's got the highest score out of each of you, you get to claim the prize of that and some printed credits that I make or some Beskar that I've got. And so I'm just dope. Like, right. It's something that was missing from Galaxy's Edge that they kind of promised us would be there, and it didn't end up being there. So I said, you know what? Let me take what I've got, sink a little time and effort into printing all these credits and stuff. And while I'm there, if I can make it more real for me and more real for my community, why not? Right. Let's just have fun with it. And, it's awesome. We have a playground that is a real Star Wars place. So why not play it?
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
I'm probably going to be there.
Awesome.
One question. As far as like what you were saying before about like, things that you would like for Galaxy's Edge to do. Yeah. When I watch these videos and everything and live vicariously, of course, through you and Tommy, the one thing that I think would make it more authentic is and I know it's kind of tough in these hot states, but aliens.
Yeah, like aliens and droids.
Yeah,
aliens and droids is what's missing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even need to be like full makeup aliens. Even if it's more like bounty hunter walking around, like a guy you could tell is a bounty hunter, even if he's human. But and he doesn't have to say much. He can just roam through town, give people dirty looks,
and it wouldn't
add so much more.
It wouldn't take much to have like a couple droid guys like behind scenes remote controlling these droids too. Just
in Florida around. They used to have Jawas. They used to have trading with like little Jawas, fully costumed Jawas, awesome. And they would like ask you to search your like, ask girls to search their purse and give them like a little trinket or something, and and they would trade you a little piece of a droid they kept in their bag, like a little action figure droid, and you could trade junk to these little Jawas in Disney World. So they've done it before, and in Disney World in Florida in the summer is really hot and humid.
I mean,
it's possible.
Clearly room for improvement. There's clearly room for improvement, and I'm sure we're gonna see stuff happening like that. Yeah, I mean, the more the
still a work in progress.
Census
like even just having somebody
we just
one
turned
of
a year old, so
yeah. If you have even just somebody in Olga's Cantina who's wearing a hood, looks mysterious. Like I would love that.
Yeah, that would go. That'd go a long way.
Yeah.
And again, it doesn't have to be something that's long. You just hire one of these actors to go do a quick round every couple minutes. You know, like you do a 10-minute walk and come back. And then you get another one dressed differently. 10 minutes. You're not out there too long. You're not overheating, and it just adds that much more to the ambiance.
Yeah, all the
and just give them a story in a comic book or something. That'd be so cool.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. Like there was in one of the Galaxy's the Galaxy's Edge book, there are these this one group of smugglers or bounty hunters, and they were like at this table talking about their job that they're about to do. Like they can.
Oh, the comic book, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, Harkos, and I forget the other guy's name, but yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And like they could be at a table talking about something, and just it'd be cool for ambiance for people to walk by and just hear them talking about that stuff, or bump into someone by accident, and that sort of thing, and then like they have a little interaction. So
one of
they do that.
One of the coolest things that happened to me, I don't know if you guys caught the video, but back in January, after Rise of Skywalker came out, I 3D printed Rey's lightsaber. But it's pieces that go around a chassis for Savi's. Yeah. So it's a Savi's lightsaber, but it looks like Rey's new one. And so cool. I brought it. And when I printed that thing, I asked in my videos, like, wouldn't it be weird if I took it to Galaxy's Edge and showed it to Rey? And my audience was like, oh, my God, do that. Yeah, that sounds great. See what happens. So I spent the day on my next trip, like, looking for Rey. And I saw Vi Marati. I was like, hey, Vi Marati, have you seen Rey? I asked Chewbacca. Like, I was literally asking all the characters, hey, where's Rey? I want to show her this and see what she thinks. And I don't know if you're familiar with the channel Star Wars IRL, Star Wars in Real Life, another big Star Wars channel. He was there visiting that same weekend, and we were walking around that evening, and we're like, hanging out, getting blue milk, just and everything. And Vi Marati comes up to me later, and she's like, "Oh, I've been looking for you. I know where Rey's at." And so, like, here we are just getting milk, and one of the characters, a real Star Wars character, comes up to me and says, "Hey, I know where Rey's at. Let's go." And I was like, I turned into an 11-year-old boy at that moment. I was like, oh, I'm really going on a Star Wars adventure right now.
I'm on a mission right now.
This is amazing. Yeah, I am going to do this. And so we walked from one end of Black Spire Outpost all the way down to the Rebel area on the other side, like, sneaking around to make sure First Order didn't see us. And it was a totally, like, dorky, cringy video, but I don't care because I had such a blast doing that. I was like, this is great. And then it was like super anticlimactic too, because I show it to Rey and she's like, "Oh, that looks cool. Looks like my staff." I'm like, "Yeah, it does."
I don't know what this is.
Yeah. That's what I told her. I was like, "Yeah, just keep that in mind for the future. You'll need to know about this for the future. Just remember."
I don't know what this is.
She's like, "Okay, cool." But it was still like, it was a neat moment because you see all the kids that like, Vi Marati and Rey are slinking around the outpost with kids. Yeah. I was like, that's cute and it's adorable. That's what it's for. But when she came and told me to do that, here I am, a 36-year-old man, just like, yes, it's my time. It's my time right now.
That's so dope. I would see a string of these kids with Rey, and I'd be like, there they are. Officer! Resistance scum!
Oh, man. He's a First Order snitch.
Yeah, he is. Oh, man. So, that's awesome. That's so amazing. I think it's great that you're coming up with these games and stuff like that to play while at Galaxy's Edge. That's so freaking cool. Yeah. Tommy, let everyone know where they can find you, bud.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Just type in Star Wars Savage and I'll pop right up.
Nice. Christopher?
Right here.
All right. Right in his living room.
At home, you can find me on Facebook under Chris Rhymes. You can find me on Twitter under the same exciting name, Chris Rhymes, or on Instagram under the same crazy name, Chris Rhymes. Where I'm at. Yeah.
And at BROAXIUM.
And at BROAXIUM, of course.
Me, you can find me at Stay on Target 42 everywhere. That's it. Stay on Target 42 and at BROAXIUM. Dano, it was so awesome having you on, man. We hope to have you back some other time.
Thank you guys so much. Yeah, please let me know when. I'd love to come back.
Hopefully,
Awesome.
It's been fun.
When this COVID stuff comes to an end and there's a vaccine and everybody can go back to hanging out and stuff, we can all meet up at Galaxy's Edge and share some blue milk or a couple of those.
Drinks at Oga's, drink celebration.
Yes, exactly. But until then, everybody out there listening, thank you so much for your support. Stay safe. Wash them hands 6 feet apart. Wear your mask. And may the force be with you. Always.
Always.